As a leader, we communicate every day. So what are some of the things that you need to know stepping into a new leadership position? Maybe you're struggling with the communication that you're having within your team and between you and your team. Or maybe you're an expert communicator and you just want to enhance your communication. Season 5 is going to be fire. You're going to want to listen to Season 5 because I'm going to share tons of tips and tricks. I'm going to share my fails and I'm going to share my successes all around communication. You are not going to want to miss Season 5. Welcome everybody to the Leaders Leading Leaders podcast. Welcome everybody to the Leaders Leading Leaders podcast. I am your host, John Espinosa. If you have been listening, thank you. If you are new to the Go Be Great community, welcome. I'm glad you're here. I hope that you find value in listening to this podcast. I've been in the leadership business for 15 plus years. I've been developing training for leaders, mentoring and coaching leaders, and walking right beside leaders as we continue to get others to where they're going. And that starts with you, the leader. One of the things that I always ask is, if you like what you're hearing, share this. And if you like it enough to subscribe, I would be very thankful. So Season 5 opener. I tell you, when I started this podcast, if you would have told me, John, you're going to be on Season 5, I wouldn't have believed it. I wouldn't have believed it because I didn't think that I could do it. I didn't think that I had it in me. I didn't think that I can consistently show up for you all and provide relevant content, meaningful content. But through the comments, the encouragement, and I got some haters out there. Trust me, that's when you know you're doing something right, leaders, is when you get the haters, when you get the folks that disagree with your point of view or disagree with the way that you handle situations. That's when you know you're on the right track. I started out just wanting to help one person. And then all I ask is that one person goes and helps one more person. And this is going to start to build this whole leadership journey, helping people who maybe don't have the self-confidence in themselves to be a good leader, who don't think that they're worthy, who have that imposter syndrome, who don't feel that they're unique enough in their leadership style to be successful in leadership. That's who this podcast is for. That's why I started writing down and journaling way back in September of last year. When I picked up my journal, I keep it with me, and I started writing down ideas. I started writing down my thoughts. I started with those challenges. I started with, what do I struggle with? What do I have challenges around? And how can I bring my failures and my successes to a place, this podcast, so that way I can just help one person overcome the challenges, that obstacle, or maybe where they feel stuck. And this is what has come of that. We're in Season 5. We're talking about communication. You're going to hear a lot about how communication, it is the foundation for everything that we do in leadership. I don't consider myself a good communicator. I have to practice it. I was an introvert. I sat in the back of the classroom in school. I was not a very good student. I didn't read very well. I didn't comprehend. I didn't retain information very well. I was anxious when it came to tests, so I didn't test very well. I had a lot of things that I had to overcome myself. Self-confidence, making sure that I went in with a positive attitude. I had that self-defeating prophecy where I told myself that I wasn't going to do well, and guess what? I didn't do well. I wasn't setting myself up for success in the first place. So when it came to communication, I realized in my graduate education, I was forced to work in groups, give presentations on a regular basis, be very succinct in the way that I communicated, get to the point, and organize presentations. That's where I really began to grasp the concepts and the principles of just basic communication. You have a sender and you have a receiver, and then you have a message. Don't overthink communication. Communication 101, that's all it is. If you have those three elements, you have communication. So we're going to talk about ways as a sender to increase your ability to communicate. We're going to talk about ways as a receiver to increase your ability to receive, translate that information. And then we're going to talk about ways on the message itself, how we can craft the message. It may be over multiple modalities, so it could be in person, it could be virtual, it could could be via text. We're going to talk about all that. Challenges that I've had being a leader, onboarding into an organization virtually, a new organization virtually, and not everybody had cameras. I'm a face-to-face person. I love talking to people face-to-face. It was tough for me. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the ways that I communicated as an introvert. I had to overcome a lot of challenges to get myself to be able to put my foot in the door and start a conversation. We're going to talk about ways in books that I have read that have helped me, and I'm going to share those books with you. So hopefully you go out and read them and they'll help you. People take different things out of books. I do a lot of audio books. When I travel or in the car, I don't listen to a lot of radio anymore. I listen to books. I consume a lot of information around communication, and that helps me become better at what I want to become better at. And that's communicating as a person, not even as a leader. Being a better communicator helps us in all facets of life, our personal life, our professional lives, in every way, in every form or fashion. We are communicating on a day-to-day basis. Verbal communication, nonverbal communication, not communicating is a form of communication. Has anyone just folded their arms in an argument and refused to even talk and communicate? That is communication. So everything that we do, we are sending a message and we are receiving messages. Day to day, hour to hour, minute by minute. So how can we be better at communicating so we can be better at leadership? That's what we're going to talk about in season 5. So I hope that you enjoy listening to season 5. Each one of the episodes is going to break down communication a little bit more, as I mentioned, as a sender, as a receiver, and through that means, that modality, or whatever the message that we're trying to send to help you leaders craft your message, state the why, state the purpose, put the bottom line up front, whatever you want to call it, get to the point. We've heard it a million different ways, but how you ingest information and then how you project that information is going to be foundational to the way that you find success in leadership. So stick with me on season 5. You're going to enjoy it. I promise you. Make sure that you're subscribed to the channel so you don't miss any one of these episodes. Go be great. Talk to everyone later. Bye. If you enjoy what you're hearing, please hit the like and subscribe button. It helps us get others to where they're going.